Hi, this is Rahman Sheikh. Welcome to Fortnightly Railway Transportation Systems podcast. I am the host and railway systems specialist. This podcast is primarily focused on railway experts who have vast amount of experience and contributed greatly to this amazing industry. This is not a technical seminar but focuses on feel good stories, individual journeys, their success and failures, motivating younger generation to kickstart their career in railways and creating a sense of pride for the railway people who devoted their lives on the most environment friendly public transportation. In this episode, we are excited to host Eyal, CEO of Trilogical Technologies, a leading provider of remote condition monitoring and diagnostics solutions for the railway industry. Trilogical Technologies is deeply engaged in the global rail sector, showcasing their innovations at prominent industry events like InnoTrans and Railway Interchange, United States. Eyal brings over 20 years of experience specializing in rolling stock telematics and fleet intelligence. His leadership in Trilogical has driven advancements in rail operations through their proprietary long train intelligence system, particularly relevant in the Australian railway context. Hi Eyal, welcome to the pod.
Hi Rayman, thank you very much for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here with you, and I hope we will enjoy this broadcast.
We will surely. I'm very excited to have you on the pod, Eyal. Can you share the genesis of Trilogical Technologies and its journey within railway industry?
Sure. So for the very first 20th year, we actually started as a supplier of IoT and machine-to-man application for smart cities, logistics, and transportation, enabling connectivity between users and employees. So from the very first beginning, we looked for how our customers can enjoy from the benefits of technology in order to improve their efficiency and safety. And something like 2008, we won a very strategical tender that was published by the Israeli Railway to provide an advisory system for the driver and also remote diagnostic. At the beginning, it was very basic. It was for location only. And since then, we keep developed our solution with more and more advanced diagnostic solution at the beginning to cover most of the brand names that familiar for today, including Stadler, Alstom, Siemens, EMD, GE, Hitachi, and also the Chinese locomotives. So today we cover most of the brand names with remote diagnostic, very rich one, which I will explore afterwards. And this is where we are focusing today.
Wow. Can you tell me the core challenges that Trilogical remote condition monitoring and diagnostic solutions aim to address?
Sure. Our solution turns reactive operation into predictive ecosystem, minimizing risk while optimizing performance. Now, most of the challenges that appears for the railway operators are around availability and reliability. So we aim to provide as much as more accurate information and bottom line data analysis to provide them what are the recommendation and actions to be done in order to reduce downtime and maintenance cost and keep the availability and reliability at the highest score. If we are talking about the freight segment, which is a little bit different than the passengers, we aim to increase the utilization and the quality of service and also to support capturing new revenues using the same resources they have today.
Amazing. Now, as I said in my intro and spoke about your proprietary product, which is a long train intelligence system. Can you tell me about its impact on railway operations, especially in Australia?
Yeah, sure. Australia has, I call it that, ultra long distance trains. And the biggest challenge for the Australian freight rail lines on the maintaining real-time visibility, safety, and operational efficiency across some of the world's longest train operating.
Agree.
Yeah. So in order to do that, we developed, I would say, the most common IoT devices that are well known in the industry. But on top of that, as you said, we developed the long train intelligence system that consists of two main features. One of them is the inter-train communication, which is our proprietary technology, allowing communication between all the rail cars to the driver and to provide visibility and alert on the health condition or end of train event. In addition to that, we developed an edge computing device that enabled to analyze using sensors the health condition in very precise way, including flat wheel, handbrake status, and overweight.
Amazing technology, Eyal. Can you tell our audience where did you develop this? I mean, where is your company based?
Our company is based in Israel. As I described at the beginning of our discussion, we have a lot of experience with the civilians and also with the defense. So what we actually made, we shift some of the technology that we developed for many years, including this inter-train technology, into the civilian market. And I found out that the freight train is just looking for that kind of a solution that, by the way, tried to be developed in Europe, in the US for several times. And I'm glad to be the first one to succeed to make it happen and overcome the main gaps, which is energy consumption and the issue around the pricing. So it's very cost effective and very reliable.
Brilliant achievement, Eyal. Now, as you talked about IoT, which is Internet of Things, can you tell us how Trilogical Technologies leverage IoT for critical railway applications compared to other sectors like defense and aviation?
In general, saying both defense and aviation are mission critical applications, and the solution should be reliable and cyber secure. So that is very similar. But when we come to IoT for train, we understood that there are a lot of information that can be captured and analyzed much more than the other sectors. So in this IoT solution, we drill down into the cloud data management using the big data for data optimization with thousands of cases, trillions of sensors being saved under our platform, and in real time being monitoring diagnostic in order to provide the bottom line health indicator based on AI, providing the exact status of the locomotives and the rail cars.
Great answer, Eyal. Thanks for sharing this. And I'll go to your other area of expertise, which is rolling stock. Eyal, what role does a rolling stock telematics play in enhancing fleet management and operational flexibility or efficiency?
I think that today, as you maybe said, the railway suffers from very low efficiency of operation and maintenance due low visibility and sensational information and complexity of operation. Telematics transformed rolling stock from passive assets into intelligent, connected components of a dynamic fleet. So with the telematics, we provide visibility into the train health. We are driving more information about driver behavior and energy management to the operators, which could be very essential when it comes into operation cost and into safety issues. We analyze the usage patterns in order to help them to optimize their availability into real services. We are focusing on a real-time incident response, and we directly etching availability and reliability and safety KPIs for the all management level.
It's amazing to hear that you spend a lot of time in R&D, especially like developing softwares or products of innovation. How do you balance innovation with the reliability demanded by railway systems?
In rail, innovation must never compromise reliability. We innovate within the framework of safety and operational certainty. Our R&D include onboard simulator. We actually have a full simulator of the entire train in our lab to check and test all the edge use cases in order to make sure that the system is reliable enough before it goes even for the first field test. And we also focus on fail-safe design and redundancy. We will be able to monitor any failures. We will be able to recover from any failure, and we will know exactly what is the fast response that needs to manage in order to reduce any system downtimes from our behalf.
Great, Eyal. Can you share with our audience your recent innovation in fleet intelligence that you found most promising for the future of rail transport?
I think that the AI will play a major role for the predictive maintenance and also for the operation efficiency. I think that there is a lack of information and availability today. So the operators are mainly relying on Excel up to date when they are going to plan their maintenance or operation. I think that in the future we will also see some implementation of AI models on the onboard device. So those devices will automatically understand if there is something missing, if there is a problem. They will automatically learn the protocol on board, which is one of the biggest barrier because there are no standards in that area. I think also that the digitalization of freight trains, including the inter-train communication and the edge computing, will play a major role in the very near future. And any deployment of technology that will support the autonomous freight trains, as long as today there are some of the passenger trains, I think that will be in the focus for the next year.
Listening to you, I'm really interested to know more about Trilogical Technologies. Can you tell us more about the company?
Yeah, the company is a team of almost 30 engineers. We have all around in the company. We have the engineers, we have a test, we have electrical engineers, software engineers. So we are doing everything end to end in our home, including the project management. We have our own technicians and mechanical engineers. We have a backbone support with our Ziv Hub parent company, which is one of the largest service provider company in Israel. And altogether, most of the core team working together for almost 15 years, saying that we are very likely like a family, knowing each other for many years and working together in full synergy.
Do you have branches outside Israel?
No, currently we are working with a partner and integrators outside Israel. We have an agent in the US, and we are just jumping from one location to the other very often.
Beautiful. How does Trilogical Technologies navigate the complexities of integrating comprehensive tech solutions into existing railway infrastructure?
I would say that integration, I think that it's the key factor for any successful project, especially in traditional market like the railway. So we are not coming to change anyone. We are trying to improve their processes. So making the integration into the railway infrastructure is something that we invest with a lot. We design our technology to fit seamlessly into existing system, whether it's a legacy or a new one like IBM or SAP. The applications themselves are very modular. It's retrofit-friendly solutions that can be fit and customized to the customer requirements. And it has its own interoperability and supporting open architecture. So any adjustment and customization are very easy to do. And I think that is one of the success principle or key for our projects.
Do you provide any specialized training for the operators?
Absolutely. Training is it's a key factor. We send the training teams to support using our professional services team. The training is divided into several layers. There are the more technical users and the end user themselves. Usually we're trying to find a champion, which is a kind of a super user, and we are building a group around him to support functionality, new features, requirements, and also technical issues that are really changed from one customer to the other.
Amazing. Eyal, from your perspective, what are the key trends shaping the future of remote condition monitoring and diagnostics in rail?
We are moving toward a rail ecosystem where condition monitoring is continuous, intelligent, and securely connected. I think that there are 4 key trends. One of them is the growth of cloud-connected assets. It's been used widely in a lot of area, and now it's the railway market's time to use it better. The second is the cybersecurity in the rail technology. As much as we integrate more and more devices and IoT that can connect the core of the trains from remote, cybersecurity cannot be ignored. And it seems that most of the suppliers of technology for the railway either ignore that or do not have enough experience to handle that. We are bringing the cybersecurity to the core of any solution that we give, including the offshore solution and the onboard solution. The third, I think that the AI and the autonomous maintenance triggers will be some of the outcomes from the cloud and the AI algorithms that we aim to deploy and will be deployed in the near future. And in that area of IoT and remote diagnostic, we are missing some of the standardizations. So we need to push toward standardizations and to back up that with regulation, especially regarding private information, data that can be shared between OEMs, data that can be shared between operators, shippers, and end customers in a way that those barriers will not stop from deployment of rich applications that will push the train forward.
Amazing. Is Trilogical Technologies involved in any of the regulatory body working groups?
We do. I've been personally involved in the Horizon conferences to push some of my thoughts about how we can promote some of the key features based on our experience and what we know. It's very difficult to have any impacts of movement in that area, but even if they hear your voice for once, I hope it will help. Eventually, what will probably push this market forward would be by publishing more and more use cases about how specific actions actually successfully assist the operators or the end users to use the trains more than in the past.
I got a follow-up question. As I said in my readout, Trilogical involvement in industry events like InnoTrans and Railway Interchange US. How do these engagements influence your approach to innovation?
This month we will attend the Rise of IoT Big Data in Cologne and Germany, and immediately after that we will attend the Interchange at the US. In those events, we learn a lot about the market needs, trends, and receive feedbacks for our roadmap. And this is very important for us to meet the customer, the OEMs, partners, and also competitors to understand to where the market goes and how we can actually bring our impact and what we need to adjust in our solution to better fit the market requirement.
Amazing. That's the reason we need these conferences. Anyways, I want to go back to my previous question. I did touch about remote condition monitoring systems, but Eyal, can you tell us what are the critical factors to consider when implementing remote condition monitoring systems on a global scale?
I think that especially in the global scale, and it can fit to any other project which are not at that scale, is the fact that a one-size-fit-all approach doesn't work. So you need to have a success based on tailoring and customization of your software, workflow, and any other features to this market. So first, one of the things we are doing is to manage the risk. And in that point, it's very important to highlight those risks that could be involved with stakeholders or regulations that are hardly to meet in any regular scale projects that are in specific region. We need to have the customer commitment and involvement in any of global scale. So we need to identify which of those stakeholders actually has the impact on this project. We need to understand what is the cybersecurity requirement in that hand. The project timelines and the partners that needs to be involved. It's very important to understand what is the infrastructure maturity, including some very basic information like track information, like cellular coverage, and also information about the required integration and available data. Eventually, at the bottom line, any project at a global scale needs to be very scalable and to be supported with adaptable platforms.
Agree, Eyal. Moreover, you just before this question, you just said me that you go to conferences so that you understand the specific needs of the industry. So, how does Trilogical Technologies collaborate with railway operators to tailor solutions to their specific needs and challenges?
It starts with the deep learning of their culture, structure, IT resources, software being used, and main challenges. Without knowing those factors, it's really difficult to address the exact need and challenges. Culture is one of the things. What is the relationship between the different operators? How they build the workflow? What goes before the other? To find the key users, as I mentioned, that the champions, again, is one of the key factors. You need to understand which of the people or the operators in the organization will benefit mostly, and also have the attitude to adapt new technology, which is not normal in traditional market segment like the railway. So by finding those users, by having a deep learning about what they are doing, how they are doing that, to whom they need to report, what type of reports, how they've been measured on the perspective of the management. All of those are very critical for us to live and to brief the end customers. And then to try, and as I mentioned before, to insist them to support the existing system and the way that they are getting decisions in order to address the pain points that they have today. And then to start with the essential integration in order not to put that as independent system that not actually being integrated and supporting the existing activities. So all of that together is what we are doing when we are approaching a new project in order to promise its success, not just in terms of technology, but also the bottom line outcomes, the KPI, and to have the same expectation eventually with the customer and to try to overcome that.
Amazing insights, Eyal. As the CEO, how do you envision the future role of data and diagnostics in optimizing railway operations?
Data will drive the next era of rail, where every decision is informed and every asset is optimized in real time. Eventually, data is the backbone for predictive and optimization of operation. The shift forward data-driven decision-making will be at every level. We develop those features that can support those processes in order to achieve that rule of remote diagnostic in the operation and also at the maintenance of railway operation.
Amazing. I got one personal question. I'm so loving the Trilogical Technologies. It doesn't look like a normal day-to-day companies which I daily see. You are not just delivering some innovative technologies, but actually there is a R&D in the company. So there are the people who do research, innovation, and then you take that idea to the market and deliver. Can you explain about the company, the various disciplines, who does what?
First, it starts with the selling guys. They need to open the door and bring us the opportunity. After that, with the technical professional teams and project managers, we are trying to understand what are the real needs, what are the challenges, what are the processes that can have an immediate impact for the customer, and how we can build a modular solution for him. After agreeing about the scope of work, we analyze the risk, and that's been done by the project manager. The designer of the system and the solution define tasks and missions for the development teams, and then we take that to offshore, to onboard, to electricity. So we have all those stakeholders that are involved with the development. We have also the QA teams that are always involved from the very first beginning because they need to plan the test afterward. And eventually the professional services teams are responsible for the deployment. And then it shifts to the customer support that aim to monitor on a daily manner the activity of the system and also to know if there is a problem before the customer notify that and to support the customer for any new or special need.
Great work. I should say amazing. By the way, before I let you go, Eyal, what advice would you give to aspiring engineers looking to make an impact in the railway technology sector?
Sure. I love what we are doing today. So I think that stay curious about things, how they been deployed or implemented. To think beyond the code and the hardware, to think out of the box, it's very important. To use the tools that they have today and were just a dream for us until a year ago. Any of those AI tools are a great impact, and I think that they can provide a huge of support for those new engineers. They need to have a system thinking. They need to understand the overall operation and technical limitation considerations in order to promote a well-done working system. They needs to be very customer-oriented. It's very important to listen. Don't be blocked with your thoughts only. Don't think about how your system works. Try to think how you can gain benefits to the customers. Continuous learning. It's very important every day. I'm learning something new, and encourage passions, to the real problem, to the real world problem solving. It's very important. Once you have these passions, curious, and thinking about out of the box, you will success.
Amazing insights. Thanks, Eyal, for sharing that. It was a great talk. I believe anyone listening to this podcast would definitely take away something from this podcast. And thank you wholeheartedly for joining this podcast, Eyal.
Thank you very much, Raymond, for having me with you in this podcast. And I'm looking forward to meet you face to face and maybe to have once more in your podcast. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I believe everyone listening to this podcast has got something to take away from today's discussion. If you like this podcast, please listen, follow, and share this podcast within your network. If you believe we should be sharing your story or someone within your network, there is a railway leader who should be here sharing his or her contribution to this industry, contact me on railway transportation systems at gmail.com. Thank you for your time today. Stay safe and take care of yourself.